credit card is not possible. Number two, they can extend the loan. They can extend the loan. Sorry, they cannot extend the loan. They cannot extend the loan. Number three, they cannot handle the cross-border remittances. So the remittances across borders. The remittances across borders cannot be handled. Next, they cannot accept the NRI deposit. They can accept the deposit only from within the country. They cannot accept the deposit from the outside country. So this picture represents the smart payment bank model, right? So you can see the payment bank will be offering the mobile or web application, ATM, POS and other enabling infrastructure. So all these things will be there, and through this the transfer and remittances can be there, payment for the e-commerce portal can be there, lot of recharge payment for the mobile, DTH, electricity, data card, landline, gas, insurance, gold loan, metro, water, hotel, bus, all these payment can be done. So this is how the payment bank want to play on the volume of transactions. Now, there are some restrictions on the payment banks. Let us see what are those restrictions. So the other restrictions include they have to invest minimum 75% of its demand deposit balances in the government securities or treasury bills with the maturity of up to 1 year for the maintenance of SLR, right? So as I already told you that up to 75%, so minimum 75% of their fund they have to deposit in the government security. Number two, they hold maximum 25% in the current and time of fixed deposit with other scheduled commercial banks for operational purpose and liquidity management, right? So 75% in the government security and 25% in the other banks. Friends, some of you might be thinking that why I am repeating the same thing again and again. I discussed this point in the previous slide, but why again I am repeating this point here? My answer is that I want that all the important points you should cover multiple times. So that will ensure that you do not forget the important point in the examination hall, right? So if I am repeating something, that does not mean that your time is being wasted. The only purpose is that you get to listen to the concept again and again so that your concept becomes strong, right? Then it shall have paid up equity capital of 100 crore rupees. This is something unique. It shall maintain minimum capital adequacy ratio of 15%. So capital adequacy ratio of 15% of its risk weighted asset will be maintained, right? So in case of public sector bank, this capital adequacy ratio is 12%, but in case of payment bank this is 15%. That means the government wants that these banks should be more robust. They should be more robust. Next, tier 1 capital should be at least 7.5% of RWA, and tier 2 capital should be limited to maximum 100% of the total tier 1. That means tier 1 should be minimum 7.5% of the risk weighted asset, and the tier 2 it should be maximum 100% of tier 1. So if tier 1 is 7.5%, the tier 2 cannot exceed 7.5%. It cannot exceed 7.5%. Then it should have a leverage ratio of not less than 3%. This is not important for you. This is a very technical point. I will not discuss. Then promoters contribution. Promoters means those people who have actually contributed to the initial capital. So the promoter should be holding at least 40% of its paid up equity capital for the first 5 years from the commencement of its business, right? So they should be holding minimum 40% of their shares for the first 5 years. Mandatory listing if the net worth reaches 500 crore. So if the net worth of the company reaches 500 crore, if the company becomes big, then within 3 years the 500 the company should be listed. The company should be listed in the stock exchange. Now, what will be the benefit to the society? What will be the benefit to the society? Number one, service charge will come down because they will infuse a lot of competition. The big banks, they will face the heat of competition. So the service charge for the transaction will come down. Then there is no requirement of minimum balance. So because there is no requirement of minimum balance, so the low income household, they will not be worried that if they do not maintain the minimum balance, then their amount will be deducted. RBI rate cut benefit. So if RBI cuts the interest rate, it will benefit the payment banks and the society also. Payment bank may take handling cash a lot easier because they will be technology driven and they will give the access to the banking services for everyone. So the requirement for cash handling will be minimized. Now, what are the challenges that they face? The first major challenge is that this Nachiket More committee, it was introduced in 2013 and it gave its recommendation in July 2014, and in August 14 the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was launched. This Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is actually also focusing upon the financial inclusion, and this also provides the condition of no minimum balance, right? So this will actually fulfill the purpose of the payment bank. So under this scheme, everyone in the nation was to get a basic bank account with an ATM card, life and accident insurance. Thus, the basic purpose of payment bank was fulfilled as a result of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. As a result, the scope of expansion of business for this bank has become limited from the starting itself, and that is the reason why, despite 11 entities getting the license, only 4 are able to operate, because on the parallel the government has introduced Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, which is actually providing no balance account. Then acceptance by the masses. So friends, commercial banks, the public sector banks, they have the mass following, right? The government is backing commercial banks because government is the major shareholder in the public sector banks. But in case of payment bank, the government do not have the guarantee. The government do not provide the ownership. Because of that, the confidence of the masses in the payment bank cannot be built. So the big commercial government banks, SBI, PNB, UBI, etc., are much trusted by the society today. These new payment banks will find it difficult to earn the level of trust that the government sector banks command today. Competition from the existing bank, that is also one of the big problem. So existing bank, they have huge banking infrastructure. So they will give the competition to the payment bank, right? So the first problem was the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Secondly, the trust, and third, the competition from the existing banks. Now, how the payment banks can ensure that their future prospects are good, right? First, they should introduce customer-friendly and tailor-made interfaces so that the public perception about them is enhanced. They can divert the attention of the customer from the traditional banking to the payment banking. They should tie up with the entities with the local feel. They should provide the multi-product and multi-service business correspondent model, and they should be working with the sharing of government business of DBT on fair sharing business model, and they should work on the cyber security regime. India Post Payment Bank, as I discussed, that this was the first bank which was given the go ahead. So this is becoming one of the very biggest banking platform. So the postman, they will become the banker for the millions, especially the underbanked Indians. 3 lakh plus postmen and Gramin Dak Sevak will serve, and 1.55 lakh post offices, they will be linked with the Indian Post Payment Bank. Now, the previous year question. So take 30 seconds and read this question and solve this question in another 30 seconds. So total 1 minute I am giving to you. Solve this question and then we will discuss further. So let us read the question. The establishment of payment bank is being allowed in India to promote financial inclusion. Which of the following statements is or are correct in this context? Statement number 1, mobile telephone companies and supermarket chains. Mobile telephone companies and supermarket chains that are owned and controlled by the residents are eligible to be promoters of payment banks. So this statement is perfectly right. We already discussed the basic condition of how and who can apply. Number 2, payment bank can issue both credit card and debit card. This credit card is impossible because they cannot give the loan, and credit card is a kind of lending. So this statement number 2 is wrong. Statement number 3, payment banks cannot undertake lending activities. This is true. So answer is option B, statement 1 and 3. So answer is option B, statement 1 and 3. Now we will discuss a small finance bank. Right? Now, how the payment bank and the small finance bank are different. Right? So this is how we will start the discussion so that you can get the clarity. So we have the payment banks and small finance bank, right? These payment bank, they can accept only demand deposits. A small finance bank, they can accept all types of deposits. Right? So they can accept only demand deposit, they can accept all types of deposit. This is the one difference. Secondly, they cannot give the loan. So they cannot lend. They can give the loan. This is one of the very big difference between the two, right? So payment bank are focusing upon the payment ecosystem. The small finance banks are actually focusing upon the small income groups. small income groups in a specified area, right? So their area of operation is comparatively limited. They are located in a very a limited region, very specific region. For example, they operate in the West UP, East UP, maybe an area having a group of 20 districts. So their operation is the area of operation is comparatively limited. They can give the loan, but this loan amount will be small. They will be catering to the small income groups. Their focus will be upon the small income groups, right? So you can see these are the two major differences, that it can accept only demand deposit, it can accept all kind of deposit. They cannot lend and they can give the loan, and they will operate at the restricted level. As of now, we can see that there are 10 entities, 10 companies who got the licenses for the small finance bank from the RBI, right? So out of this, Ujjivan, it is operating, and many more. For example, Utkarsh, they are operating very well as of now. Now, the basic about the small finance bank: registration, licensing, and the regulations. Point number 1, they should be registered as a publicly limited company under the Companies Act 2013. So this is the condition very much similar to the payment bank. Number 2, they should be licensed under section 22 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. This is also very clear. Number 3, they should be given scheduled bank status once they commence their operation. This is very different. So they should be given the scheduled bank status. This is very crucial. This is very unique. This is different from the payment bank. They should use the word small finance bank in its name, so that people can identify that they are the small finance bank, they are not the normal banks. Objective of setting up a small finance bank: number 1, provision of saving vehicle. Very, very important. Saving vehicle to unserved and underserved section of the population. So the unserved and underserved section of the population, they will get a platform, they will get a place where they can make the saving. Supply of credit to small businesses, small business units, small and marginal farmers, micro and small industries, and other unorganized sector entities through high technology, low cost operations, right? So supply of credit to small business units, small and marginal farmers, micro and small industries, and other unorganized sector entities through high technology, low cost operations. Who can apply? Who can apply? Number 1, resident individuals. Please be careful. Resident, not anyone. Resident individuals and professionals with 10 years of experience in the banking and finance. So the people should be having the 10 years experience. Companies and societies owned and controlled by residents. So everywhere you will find resident. Existing NBFCs, microfinance institutions, and local area banks. So NBFC means non-banking finance companies. For example, IL&FS, right? Microfinance institutions, those institutions who are providing very small amount of finances or loans. Local area bank that are owned and controlled by the resident who can opt for conversion into the small finance bank. So these NBFC, MFI and local area bank, they can be converted into the small finance banks. Who may apply? Who may not apply? This is also very crucial. Large public sector entities and industrial and business houses, right? So they cannot apply. They cannot apply. Activities which can be undertaken by the small finance banks. Number 1, acceptance of deposit, and they can accept all kinds of deposit. They can accept all kinds of deposit. Next, lending activities. So they can give the loan as compared to the payment bank. They can give the loan. Can become a category 2 authorized dealer in the foreign exchange business. So they can also deal in the foreign exchange transactions. Internet banking, functioning as the business correspondent of other banks. What is the meaning of business correspondent? Business correspondent is any agency which goes door to door to the customer's house and gives them the access to the deposit and the withdrawal services. So they will carry a small device. The person will carry the small device, go to the customer's doorstep, and will ask, have you, do you want to deposit some money into the bank, or do you want to withdraw some money? And the transaction will be happening at the doorstep of the customer, right? So that is how this business correspondent operate. Non-risk sharing simple, non-risk sharing simple financial services activities such as distribution of mutual fund units, insurance products, pension products, etc. with the prior approval of the RBI and after complying with the requirements of the sector regulator, etc. So prior approval of the RBI will be required before it can enter into mutual fund unit, insurance product and pension product. Utility bill payment, this can also be allowed. So there are large number of activities which can be done by the small finance banks. Activities which cannot be undertaken, this is also very crucial. You cannot set up subsidiaries to undertake non-banking financial services activity. So this is a kind of summary. You can see key features of the small finance bank. Eligibility: professionals with 10 years of experience in the banking, finance companies, MFIs and local area banks. Promoter must have at least 5-year track record also. This is also one requirement. Capital: minimum paid up capital is 100 crore. The RBI has proposed that it will be increased to 200 crores. Scope of activity: provide basic banking to low income group, small businessmen, farmers and unorganized sector. So it will be focusing upon the low income group, small businessmen, farmers and the unorganized sector. Promoters contribution: promoters initial contribution should be 40% and should be lowered to 26% in the 12 years. Foreign shareholding as per FDI norms for the private bank. So whatever FDI norms are there for the private bank, those norms will be applicable for the small finance bank. Other conditions: follow all prudential norms. At least 50% of the loan portfolio to be given for advances up to rupees 25 lakh, right? That means all the loans which will be given, out of those loans, around 50% of the loan they should be less than, of the value of less than rupees 25 lakh. The purpose is that the loan should be given to the small income group people, right? So the loan value should be rupees less than 25 lakh rupees for more than 50% of the loan given by this. Large NBFCs cannot apply for being the small finance bank. They are required to maintain CRR and SLR because they are into the lending activity. Therefore, they are supposed to keep the SLR and CRR. However, payment bank are not supposed to have the SLR and CRR. They are required to extend 75% of its adjusted net bank credit to the sectors eligible for classification as priority sector lending. So we have already discussed the priority sector lending norms. So small finance banks, they are required to extend 75% of its adjusted net bank credit to the sectors eligible for classification as the priority sector lending by the RBI. There are some other restrictions: paid up equity capital of 100 crore, capital adequacy ratio of 15%, 7.5% tier 1, maximum 100% of tier 1 should be the tier 2, leverage ratio of not less than 3%, 75% in the priority sector lending, at least 50% of the loan portfolio should be consisting of the loans and advances up to rupees 25 lakh. Promoters contribution: promoter should hold at least 40% of its paid up equity capital for the first 5 years from the commencement of its business, should be brought down to 30% within a period of 10 years and to 26% within a period of 12 years. Mandatory listing if the net worth exceeds 500 crore rupees within the 3 years of reaching that net worth, the small finance bank will be listing down, right? So friends, all these are not conceptual, these are very informative. Still you should go through once because there can be question on any of these aspects. We have already seen in 2016 there was a question from that who can make the payment bank. So important features, they can accept any deposit, they can lend the money. For the initial 3 years, they require the prior approval of the RBI for branch expansion. To give the feel of local bank, their area of operation will be restricted. Maximum loan size to a single person cannot exceed 10% of the total capital funds and cannot exceed 15% in case of a group. So to ensure that their loan is not being given to a particular person or particular group of people, it will be ensured that maximum loan size to a single person cannot exceed 10% of the total capital fund and cannot exceed 15% in the case of a group. Now UPSC question. Please see this question, take 30 seconds and then we will see.